Hello and welcome to another episode of Biology Talk. This is June Kahigal, and for today we shall study vaccines. How do vaccines work? Okay, so before we move on, let's first study the history of vaccination. Now, vaccination or the development of vaccines was made possible because of Edward Jenner. Okay, Edward Jenner he's an English doctor born in the mid 18th century, and eventually he would become one of the most famous scientists in medical history. In fact, he was named the father of immunology. Okay, now, after observing that cowpox infection seemed to protect humans against smallpox, this English doctor, Edward Jenner, inoculated an 8-year-old boy with cowpox material from a blister, yung parang sugat, on the hand of an English milkmaid. So itong milkmaid na ito, she was infected with cowpox. Kumuha si Edward Jenner probably some cowpox material, siguro yung nana, something like that. And Jenner inoculated that 8-year-old boy with that cowpox matter, so that Jenner can protect that 8-year-old boy against smallpox. So, yun ang ginawa niya. Okay? That's why the word vaccine, yung salitang vaccine, comes from the Latin word vaca, di ba? So, vaca sa Tagalog, baka, cow, di ba? So, this comes after the cowpox material that was used by that English doctor Edward Jenner in the first vaccination in 1796 for curing smallpox. Okay, so now you know, yung word na vaccine comes from the Latin word vaca, meaning cow. Kasi yun ang ginamit ni Jenner, yung nana ng isang milkmaid which is infected with cowpox, para gamutin niya yung 8-year-old boy na may smallpox. Okay, so that's a brief history of vaccination. So, what is then a vaccine? Ano pa talaga ang vaccine? Now, a vaccine stimulates the production of antibodies, okay, and the formation of memory cells without causing any disease. Now, vaccines are made from killed pathogens. Pag sinabi nating pathogens, these are microorganisms that cause diseases. Or vaccines are made from weakened viral strains. So weak. So, kumbaga to sa sundalo or kaaway, nasugatan yung kaaway. Okay? So, weakened viral strains that cause antibody production. Okay, so anyway, we'll try to elaborate that further later on. Now, before we can move forward, we will have to identify some important terms. So, one important term that we need to understand is the term antigen. So, what is an antigen? When you say an antigen is any substance that when introduced into the blood or tissue, it induces the production of antibodies. Okay, so let's think of it this way. Ang antigen ay parang ano yan, parang kaaway yan, enemy natin yan. Okay, and pag nandun yung kaaway, parating na yung sundalo. Yung sundalo are antibodies. Okay, what is an antibody? An antibody is a protein produced by lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are special types of white blood cells. Antibodies are Y-shaped, and when an antibody encounters a foreign antigen, it can join with a specific antigen, and the antibody will neutralize or will inhibit or will destroy the antigen. So, ang antibody, parang ano yan, parang sundalo yan. They are soldiers of our body. They can neutralize, they can inhibit, or destroy the antigen, which is yung kaaway. Okay? Alright. So, pag nagsalpukan yung dalawang yan, antigen, antibody, we call that an antigen-antibody response. Ayan. So, ganyan nangyayari sa loob ng katawan natin. There is a war going on between antigens and antibodies. Now, how do vaccines work? Paano ba sila gumagana sa katawan natin? Now, vaccines work by injecting small amounts of antigen from a certain disease into the body. Now, remember, tandaan natin, saan ba gawa ang vaccine? Vaccines are made from killed pathogens or weakened viral strains. So, kung magayan sa kaaway, nasugatan. So, pag nasugatan yung kaaway, they cannot do any harm. Diba? And when this is introduced into the body, this will trigger an immune response. And ang katawan natin, magpo-produce ngayon yan ng antibodies, yung mga sundalo. So, pag na-recognize ng katawan natin na may mga kaaway na, the body will be triggered to produce antibodies. Yan. So, maggagawa sila ngayon ng sundalo. So, that's how vaccines work. So, we call this the primary response to an invasion or intrusion. Okay? Alright. So, if there is a second intrusion, pag may sakit ulit na dumating with these antigens, yung immune system natin, our immune system, will react a lot quicker. Okay? So, mas mabilis ngayon mag-respond yung katawan natin. And our body will produce more antibodies. Itong tinatawag natin na secondary response. So, and we won't show the symptoms of the disease kasi marami na tayong sundalo kasi na-vaccinate na tayo. Okay? Our body has memory cells that can immediately recognize the enemy. Okay? The body will react a lot quicker and the body will produce more antibodies, yung mga sundalo. So, we call it a secondary response. And we won't show the symptoms of the disease. Galing, no? So, when a vaccine is being given or injected to a healthy human, so the body is stimulated into producing antibodies and memory cells against the disease. So, pag meron na tayo, naturukan na tayo ng bakuna or vaccine, our body will build an immunity to the disease. Okay, so that's how vaccines work. So to summarize, how do vaccines work? So vaccines are made from what? Weak or dead pathogens or weakened virus, and that is introduced into the body. Okay, this will trigger our immune system to develop antibodies. Okay, thus remembering the antigen kasi may mga memory cells yan, di ba? The body will produce memory cells. So, these antibodies will fight the enemy, yung mga antigens, if there is a second invasion or second intrusion. Okay, so that's how vaccines work. Very simple. So, ang galing ni Edward Jenner, di ba? Okay, so I hope I was able to share a little of information about vaccines, how they work, and what does it do to our body. Okay, so again, this is Jun Kahigaw. Thank you for listening and stay safe.